Hello everyone. Good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Welcome to the session today. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good
Good,
morning.
Good morning, sir.
good morning. So let us start the session. Okay. Hope you all can remember that yesterday we have seen few basic concepts related to the GCP data engineer. So let me just recap. So for example, these are the topics that we have started learning yesterday. Why we need the cloud platform. Can anyone tell me? Can let us try to list out the points why we need that? Okay. So if you remember any of the points from the yesterday session, let us try to make it as a point why we need cloud platform. Now tell me, guys. Can you guys?
Operational overhead,
Okay, computation overhead. That's a very good point.
cost
Computation
optimization,
overhead. Next is cost optimization. Yes. Next third thing.
scaling,
Okay, scaling is not easy. Yes.
Reliability.
No, the reliability is something that it will be there in the both things. Okay, it's reliability is like nothing but a trustworthy. We can trust on premises and we can trust cloud both. That's not a issue. Yeah. Any other point that you can remember from yesterday's class? So you need to take care of the security and management details. So you don't need to worry about that in the cloud platform. And efforts, you need to put a lot of efforts in the on premises, right? Because you need to take care of many teams, right? So that is also there in the on premises. What is the model? What is the working model? Is it a deployment model? Is slow or fast?
Slow.
It's a
Slow,
slow
sir.
deployment model, right? When you go to the
Uh,
this is what is a slow deployment model. Yes. And you can say it is a cost means expensive. Okay. And the next thing, please. Human error. It prone to the human error, guys. When you are working in the on premises, it prone to the human error. It leads to the inconsistency in the environment. Consistency in environment. Any other points, please? Underutilization of the resources, nothing but wasted resources. Hope you all remember these points, guys. Wasted resources. And can you guys tell me about the automation? What about the
eh, no, like a very no automation will be there.
limited automation, let's say, right? Okay, so these
Yes.
were the problems that when you are working in a on premises. So these are the problems when you are working in a on premises, guys. Okay, when you are actually working in a on prem, so I would say on prem, you have to take care of your own computation. So, and it is a very costly model. Scaling also very hard because you can't just scale it. Because if you wanted to scale it, you have to have all the things has to be there in your data center itself. And one more thing also, why did I mention efforts here is that so when you're managing your data center, you have to take care of your 24 by 7 electricity, 24 by 7 water supply, 24 by 7 cooling, and 24 by 7 security personnel has to be available, and the maintenance guy has to be available. So that is why I mentioned here the efforts. When I say efforts, it means that this one only. So you have to put a lot of effort there to make the data center to be available all the time and without any problems. So that is what it is. And it is a slow deployment model, human error, inconsistency, environment, wasted resources, limited automation. Now, To, to avoid all of these problems, what do we have, guys? Can you guys tell me what do we have to avoid these problems? Which came into the picture?
GCP.
Not only just GCP, we have cloud platforms came
Cloud
into.
com cloud computing.
So what are the leading cloud providers?
Uh, Azure,
Okay,
GCP,
okay. Yeah, these are the three things are the ones are the leading cloud providers, guys. You have a AWS, you have a Azure, you have a GCP. Okay, these are the three leading cloud providers, and one of the leading cloud provider all have a more than almost nearly 20, more than 20% market. All are getting it. Now we are learning about the GCP. It's because GCP is new and it is having a plenty of the opportunities. And most of the projects nowadays, even from the AWS also, they are moving from the AWS to the GCP also. You now know that. After a few days, we'll come to know this thing as well. Okay, most of the projects from the AWS data engineering projects also moved to the GCP only. It's because GCP is providing you the cost-effective services. And one more thing is that the data engineering services are very fast and easily scalable, and it is fully managed. So that is the reason. Okay, so this is what we have seen yesterday. If you can see here. Okay, so this is the model that we have seen yesterday. Slow deployment model, expensive or limited automation, human error, inconsistency, wasted resources, and cloud providers came into the picture. They have solved the problems one by one. Okay, and after that we have seen the traditional versus cloud, on-prem, everything has to be managed, cloud computing. One more service, I mean, cloud provider will deliver the service to you, and this is a category we have seen yesterday. And I have also told you that what is Google Cloud Platform. Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider which provides you the cloud computing services for the organizations to build, deploy, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. And it provides you the suite of services. You can see here: compute suite, identity management, networking, big data, storage and databases, machine learning services. And why we need to learn, it's because it's a cost, community support is there, cost effectiveness is there, flexibility is there, scalability, reliability, security, fully managed and fast and easy interface, market leader, industry adaptation is there, comprehensive service portfolio. All of these points we have seen. Growth rate, roles offered: GCP data engineer, GCP developer, GCP admin. The certifications, if you wanted to go for, guys: associate cloud engineer and professional data engineer. Yes, this is the topic that we are going to start today: how to interact with the GCP services. Sir, as I told you, Google Cloud Platform is giving you this many services. Okay, out of those services, we are going to learn about the data engineering tools. Sir, I wanted to work with those services, sir. I wanted to work with those data engineering services from tomorrow onwards. How to interact with them? What are the ways to interact with them? Can you guys tell me? So, if I have to tell you, Google Cloud Platform is giving you 3 to 4 interactive methods to work with these GCP data engineering services. You have 3 to 4 methods. Let us try to see how we can able to work with these GCP data engineering services from tomorrow onwards. The very first thing is that if you wanted to interact with the GCP services, you have a console. What is that? You have a console. What is this console? For example, let me open the Google Cloud Platform, then you will best understand. So if you guys wanted to go to the Google Cloud Platform, we have to go to the console.cloud.google.com, guys. This is our web address. This is our console homepage. So I'm gonna pasting this link in the chat if you wanted to guys to look at it. Okay, I'm gonna paste it in the chat. Okay, so console.cloud.google.com. So here we are. Okay, so this is what is a console home page, guys. If anyone wanted to work with the Google Cloud platform, they can use this console. This console is a, if you wanted to work with BigQuery, so you come here and you search for this BigQuery and you click on this BigQuery and you have here. So by visually you are going to interact. For example, if you wanted to see the these tables and if you wanted to see the tables, all of those things you will be able to see it here. Okay, all of that activities you will be able to see it here. So tables are listed out here and data sets and tables are listed out. This is a data set, this is a table. So that is how you will be able to interact with the GCP services, whether it is a BigQuery or tomorrow it is a cloud storage or day after tomorrow it is a data proc. If you guys wanted to interact with any of the service in the GCP, you can able to interact via visual interface. So this is visual interface only, right? So if you wanted to click on anything, you must see it and you are going to click on that. Okay, so this is what is a BigQuery, guys, and this is what is a console. What is a console? Wait a minute. So console is a one of the graphical user interface. It is a GUI, graphical user interface. How people are interacting with the graphical user interface with the GCP services visually. So they're gonna be visually looking at the GCP services and they are interacting with those services via user interface. So it is a web-based graphical user interface. If you wanted to create a bucket, if you wanted to create a table, if you wanted to delete any of the services, or if you wanted to create any of the deployment, all the things can also be done from the console. Console is a graphical user interface tool. What is this one, sir? It is a graphical user interface, web-based graphical user interface because it is hosted on the web only, right? So it is a web-based graphical user interface tool to interact with any of the service in the GCP. Okay, you can able to interact with any of the service in the GCP, sir. For example, if you wanted to go to the IAM and admin building and compute engine and Kubernetes engine. So if you wanted to work with the cloud storage, so you can able to interact with any of the service here. Okay. So this is what we call as a graphical user interface. You have here plenty of the buckets. Okay. So this is what we call as a graphical user interface. Okay. Assume that these are the GCP services. Okay. So assume that. Guys, mute yourself, please. Okay. If you think that this is a GCP services, if you think that these are the GCP services, if you wanted to work with these GCP services, you have first method, that is the very first method. Can you guys tell me what is the first method, sir? Console. What is a console? It is a web-based graphical user interface. Okay, it is a web-based graphical user interface. So here you are going to interact with the services visually. Okay, so that is what is our first service. And the next service we have is Cloud Shell. The next service we have here is Cloud Shell, sir. Cloud Shell is also a web-based command line interface. It is what, sir? It is a command line interface. Cloud Shell is a command line interface. It is not a web-based graphical user interface. It is a command line interface. If you wanted to interact with the services in the GCP, here you are going to interact via commands. Via commands. Here, if you wanted to work to interact with the GCP, how you are interacting with here via visual interface, via visually. Okay. So in the console, it is a web-based graphical user interface. Visually, you are going to interact with the services. What is Cloud Shell? Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. Here you are interacting with the services via commands. Sir, can you show me where is this Cloud Shell? If I have to tell you, let me go to the Google Cloud Platform. You can able to see here. It is also web-based, I told you. It is a web-based means it is hosted on some internet only. So you can able to see here, you will be able to see this option or not. Activate Cloud Shell. Can you guys tell me, are you able to see this option?
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
So you can click on this thing. Once you click, some people will ask me later point of time, sir, where did you click it? So that's the reason I asked you. Okay. So once you click on it, the Cloud Shell terminal is getting open. Terminal is nothing but a command line interface. You see here, guys. Okay, you see here. Sir, you went to the BigQuery. For example, if you went to the BigQuery, can you guys tell me how many data sets are there under this BigQuery data set? This is a project ID. How many data sets are there?
One data set.
One, two, right? So master data set and raw data set. Two data sets are there. So if you wanted to see the same thing, you can check BQLS and you authorize it. You will also be able to see those data sets name. You see here data set ID, master data set, raw data set. Okay. So for example, if you wanted to see here how we are interacting here, we are visually looking at that particular service and we are clicking on something so that we are interacting with that particular service, BigQuery. So if you wanted to see the tables here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 tables are there. Similarly, if you wanted to see the same thing, BQLS, the data set is raw data set, right? Did I click? Okay, I hear many things are there, guys. So actually, it was not seeing. So you'll be able to see bookmarks. This many data sets, this many tables are there. Videos, users, post likes. All these are the tables only. Okay. Here also you'll be able to see that many tables are listed out here. Bookmarks, comment likes, comments, follows, hashtags. Just an example: login, photos, post likes. So if you wanted to interact with the GCP services, you can able to do it from the Google Cloud Console, or you can able to do it from the Cloud Shell as well. Can you guys tell me what is a Cloud Shell now? Can you guys tell me what is a Cloud Shell now? Sir, Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. How you are interacting with the services here? Via commands we are interacting with the services, sir. How you are interacting with the services here now? Can you guys tell me? Via visually. Visually you are interacting with the services. Okay. What we can do with the console? We can create a bucket, we can list out the tables, we can list out the buckets, we can list out the data set, we can delete it, we can create a service, we can do anything. We can do anything with this console. Similarly, we can also do anything with this. Whatever the interaction you wanted to have it, you can also do anything with this particular command line shell as well. Okay, so these are the two things. One is console, one more is Cloud Shell. Console is a web-based graphical user interface. Visually, you are interacting with the services. Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. Via commands, you can interact with it. But Cloud Shell is having two phases. So there are two types. Inside the Cloud Shell, you have two phases. We can say one is terminal. You might have seen terminal. And one more is editor. Okay, most of the people does not know about this thing. I'm telling you guys, please pay attention. So in a terminal, purely you can run the commands. Okay, you can run the commands and you can run the scripts and you can run anything. But in the editor, it is like a version control system. Okay, it is like a version control system. You can manage your code, you can manage your source code, you can version your source code, you can do anything here with the help of the editor. Here also you can write commands, you can write scripts, because it is like a Visual Studio Code. You might have seen the Visual Studio Code, right? So it is like a IDE. Some people call it as a IDE, development environment, integrated development environment. It comes up with the integrated development environment. Okay, so these are the two things. These are the two types you will be having it in the Cloud Shell. In Cloud Shell, you have a two phases, sir. Can you show me, sir? Whatever we are doing is terminal only. You see here, whatever we are doing at the top, you will be able to see. Let me open this entire, sir. This is like, I'm doing up and down, but I don't want to do it like this. Can we open this in the next page? Yes. Once the Cloud Shell is opened, you can able to see here, open a new window. You can able to click on this option so that it will be opened in the next window. Okay, you can able to open this in the next window. You see here, the same thing is opened here. You can close it here. The same thing is opened here. Okay, so if you wanted to clear the entire screen, you can clear it. Okay, so what we are doing here, this is what is terminal, guys. This is what is terminal. And if you wanted to go for the editor, you can able to see here. If you unselect it, you will be able to see two things. This is open terminal, open editor. You have two phases. I told you two types you have. So in the Cloud Shell, you have two components. One is terminal, one is editor. Terminal is the one where you can able to run your commands and scripts. Open editor. Editor is something where you can able to use it as a IDE or version control system. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment where you can able to write your code with a visual. I mean, it gives you some kind of a. Let me open it and you will be able to see it. If you wanted to write some Python scripts, Java scripts, whatever the scripts, right? So, for example, let me show you if I have any. So, see here, you can able to write your scripts like this. Okay, you can able to write your scripts like this. Okay, so it is a IDE, guys. It stores the code automatically. It stores the code. Okay, automatically it stores the code, and if you wanted to version it, also can able to version it. So this is what it is. So if you wanted to write a new code, for example, so you can come here and you can click on new file. If you wanted to write main.py, and you can able to click on it, you can able to write your code. Okay, print. Okay, you can say, hi everyone, this is editor from Cloud Shell. So this is what is an editor, guys. This is an editor from Cloud Shell. See here, with the help of the UI, you can able to write your code. This is an integrated development environment where you can able to write your code, manage your code, and version your code properly. Okay, so this is what is the second component. One is terminal. Where is the terminal, guys? If you wanted to open both, you can click on this open terminal also. Terminal will be opened at the bottom and editor at the top. If you don't want the editor, you can unselect the editor. Only terminal is open. If you don't want both, you can select unselect it. So both will be not open. If you wanted to open any of these things, you can able to see. Okay, so this is what is terminal, this is what is editor. Both of the things you need to know, guys. We are going to interact with both of these services. Okay, so if I go back, so I have here the what is Cloud Shell. It is a web-based CLI, and it works with the commands, and it is a terminal and editor. Sir, you are saying it is Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. Can you tell me that where it is actually hosted? Can you give me a few more details about the Cloud Shell? If I have to give you a few more details about the Cloud Shell, so Cloud Shell is one of the Linux-based virtual machine, sir. Linux-based virtual machine. It's a Linux VM. It's a Linux-based virtual machine. Yeah, whoever is created the Google Cloud account, they have given with a Cloud Shell with a small Linux virtual machine. It's a free for all the people. It's free for all the people, guys. Linux virtual machine is nothing but a Cloud Shell only. Okay, one of the virtual machine is by default created, and that is what we're calling as a cloud shell. Cloud shell is one of the Linux virtual machine. That is the reason whenever you wanted to use this command. So if you wanted to write any of the commands, these commands are, we call it as a Linux commands. These commands, we call it as a Linux commands. That's the reason I will also be talking about few basic Linux commands in our upcoming sessions. Okay, in our upcoming sessions, we will also be talking about few basic Linux commands. So these are the basic Linux commands we must know. At least some 15 commands are there. We must know those basic Linux commands. Okay. So when you are working as a data engineer, sometimes you may have to go to the cloud shell and do some kind of activity. Your client will tell you to extract something, export something, do this and that. So at that point of time, you must know about the basic Linux commands. So that is the reason we will also be learning some basic Linux commands here. Okay. So what is cloud shell, guys? It's a Linux based virtual machine, and it is a web based command line interface, and via Linux commands only we are going to interact with the GCP services here. There are two types. Terminal is there, editor is there. Terminal is to write your scripts and commands. Editor is to manage your code, manage your source code, as well as versioning your code. Okay, so this is what is the terminal and editor. Okay, sir, can you tell, if you ask me what is the size of this virtual machine, it is actually 5 GB. It is actually 5 GB. One more interesting thing about the Cloud Shell is that Cloud Shell comes up with the pre-installed client libraries. It comes up with the pre-installed client libraries like Python, Java, and if you want Terraform, Docker, and plenty of the other languages, guys. I'm telling you, plenty of the other languages. Node.js, it can understand. Some other language, plenty of the languages it can understand. You don't need to specifically install it on top of this cloud shell. Okay, so cloud shell is one of the Linux virtual machine. It comes up with a 5 GB storage. It comes up with a 5 GB storage, sir. Where I can see, if you wanted to see somewhere, it will be. Okay, somewhere here in the settings it will be, guys, if you wanted to see actually, but I am not sure. Maybe if I open the editor or if I open the shell, you will be able to see somewhere. Okay, click on the settings and terminal. No. Okay, somewhere it will be, but not sure. I am not sure where it is actually opening, but anyway, so you'll be able to see it now. And one more thing is that it comes with the pre-installed Java, Python, Terraform, Docker. Guys, if you wanted to see, for example, so just now I have created a code called the main.print, this one, right? Main.py, that is a Python code. Hi everyone, this is editor from the Cloud Shell. So if you wanted to run that code, what you will be doing, sir? Python 3, and you will say main.py. See here, when you run it, what is the output we are getting? It should be printing the message, right? So did I install the Python here? No. You see here, it is printing. Hi everyone, this is editor. So Python is by default installed here, guys. It comes up with the by default installation. You see here, Python, Java. See OpenJDK 17.09 and Docker. So Docker 24.70. So this is what I'm telling you, that all the client library support is also there. It can understand the many programming languages as well, Cloud Shell. So that is the reason I just wanted to give you almost all the information about the Cloud Shell. You can able to come here. Tomorrow, if you wanted to learn from my notes also, you'll be having it here somewhere. So the Cloud Shell. A Linux small virtual machine, Linux operating system, and it is a command line interface. 5 GB storage is there. Command line language support is also there. If anyone wanted to work with the Cloud Shell, they have to must select the project, and they have to use the Cloud Shell commands, are nothing but a Linux commands. Okay, you can come here and you can also see. So this is what it is. So if you wanted to increase the size or anything, you can able to see, you can go for these things, guys. If you wanted to go for light theme, or if you want, sorry, if you wanted to go for some custom theme, anything you can able to go for. Okay, you have here the settings. Now I will be going with the dark theme, and you can have, if you wanted to change the text font size, copy settings, keyboards, all of these things are here. Please make yourself comfortable with the this cloud shell. Okay, similarly here also you have, when you click on this settings button, color theme, if you want, you can able to select any of these things. If you want the red one, or if you want the this one is good actually. Okay, so this is how you have it here, all the things. If you wanted to check it out, you can also check it out. Most of the times I will be using the dark, so this one is mine. Okay, yeah. So what is Cloud Shell, guys? Cloud Shell is one of the Linux-based virtual machine. It comes up with the pre-installed client libraries, and it has a two phases, terminal and editor. And in terminal, you can able to run the commands. Editor, you can able to manage the code, version the code, and easily write your code. And it is a 5 GB storage. And here you are using the Linux commands to interact with the GCP services. Why this entire machine is created? To interact with the GCP services. Why we need having the console? To interact with the GCP services. Okay. Any questions, anyone, please? Please raise your hand if you guys have any questions.
Hi sir. Like
Yep.
if if we create a project, so for that project also we have this shell, separate shell, or cloud shell only
No,
we
it
use.
is the same thing. So even though when, for example, when you selected multiple projects, right? So you will be coming here. You will be coming here. So by default, one project will be selected. If you wanted to select a one more project, G cloud config set project. Cloud Shell is same, the project you have to change it. For example, if you wanted to change it to this project, you come here, project ID you mentioned, the project ID will change here. See here, from this one to this one, it is changed.
Yeah, got
Okay,
it.
so these type of commands we will learn in our upcoming sessions, guys. You'll get to know more about the Cloud Shell because it's just a beginning. I just don't want it to scare you. Okay. Few more commands are so there. ls command is commonly used to list out all the files, and cat command to view the file. So to view the data of that particular file. So all of these things we are going to see it. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. What is console? What is Cloud Shell? If you are unable to understand, please tell me, guys. I'm going to explain one more time. If you are okay, then we are going to start the next thing.
So we can integrate with the Git also, right? From here.
Yes, we can integrate with the Git also. Yes, that's the reason I just called as a versioning and version control system. Git is a version control system. Yes. You can also see here that symbol also you'll be able to see it, right? So when I go here, when I click on the editor, you will be able to see the version and control system symbol. Here it is, source control symbol. See? So something we have changed it, and it is changing the it is tracking the changes. Okay. Yeah. Any other things, anyone, please? So you have here the Hashika Terraform support also. Cloud code, if you wanted to connect with any of these things. If you wanted to configure any of these things, source control, if you wanted to search any of the buttons, and if you wanted to see all your Explorer, all the files in your this one. So you can also see like this, right? So these are the folders, right? So when you click on ls also, that is the same thing it will show. So app engine, Docker, all of those things. Whatever you see here, sir, whatever you see here, blue color, that is a folder, and whatever you see in the white color, that is a file. Okay, this is a file, this is a folder. You should see the difference. So similarly here also, if it is a folder, you will be able to see it like this. Arrow mark will be there. If it is a file, you will not be having any arrow mark. So that is the difference. Okay, and next thing that we have here. So we have seen console, Cloud Shell. The next thing is the Cloud SDK. Okay, what is Cloud SDK? SDK is nothing but a software development kit. Sir, software development kit is also command line interface. But is it web based? No, it is not web based. It is a local based. Okay, it is a local based, sir. It is not web based. It is also a command line interface. Here also you are going to interact it via commands only. Here also you are going to interact it via commands only. So this is what is SDK, sir. SDK is a command line interface. It is a local based, and it is here also you are going to interact with the GCP services via commands. Sir, what is the difference between the shell and SDK? Sir, shell is web based. SDK is a local based. Web based and local based, what does that mean, sir? When you open the console.cloud.google.com, that means when you open the Google Cloud platform over the network or over the web, then only you will be able to activate the Cloud Shell, right? So if you wanted to, guys, so you came here. If you wanted to use the Cloud Shell, what you will be doing? You will be having a proper internet connection, and then you come here and you click on this one, right? So then only the Cloud Shell getting activated. Okay, Cloud Shell is getting activated. This is what happens. Okay, but if you wanted to work with the command line interface, one more command line interface, that is Cloud SDK, nothing but a software development kit, which is you can actually download it and install it on top of your local machine. So SDK download GCP. So install the Google Cloud CLI. So this is what it is. So if for Windows, you can just click on this one, automatically it will install, guys. Okay, so you have here, this is a hyperlink. When you click on this one, automatically it is getting installed. You see here, it is installed. It is only 149 KB. Okay, so once you click on install, and after that it is installed, this is downloaded now. You can click on open this file, and it will be installed on top of your local machine. For me, it is already installed on top of my local machine. I will be searching with SDK. You see here, Google Cloud SDK. Okay, so this is what opens. For me, this is what opens. Whereas this is, it is hosted. It is not hosted on the web. That's the reason we don't call it as a web based. It is hosted on the local machine. It is a local based command line interface. Here also you can able to interact with the services. Here also you have to interact with the services. If one wanted to interact with the GCP services, you must connect this to your Google Cloud platform, your account, your Google account, you have to connect it to, right? So that's the reason G Cloud auth login. So when you mention G Cloud auth login, it will be going here and select that particular account, and then continue, and then allow. Automatically it is logged in, and it is selected which project, guys? This project. If you wanted to know BQLS, at that time, last time we have seen two data sets, right? You can also see here the two data sets, and BQLS and raw data set. If you wanted to see the tables, you can also see the tables here as well. Okay, so the same thing, whatever the activity that you are doing it from your Cloud Shell, you can also do it from the Cloud SDK, because both are the command line interfaces only. Both are command line interfaces only. The difference is that Cloud Shell is web based and the Cloud SDK is local based. You can able to install it, whether you wanted to install it on the Windows operating system. See here, if you wanted Windows or the Mac OS or the Red Hat CentOS Fedora or Ubuntu operating system or Linux operating system, whatever the your laptop operating system will be there, right? According to your laptop operating system, mine is Windows, so that's the reason I clicked on here. If your machine is Mac OS, then you can go for like this. Okay, so this is how you can able to download it. Once you download it, okay, once you download it, what you have to do, sir? Click on this folder. Okay, click on this folder, click on this run button. Okay, you have to do this entire step. Okay, click on next, agree. So when you click on next, and click on install, right, automatically everything will be installed. Okay, so automatically Google Cloud SDK will be installed. It takes 5 minutes, guys. Be patient. Okay, it is setting up your CLI on top of your local machine, so please wait for some time. Okay, please wait for some time, so it will be installed on top of your local machine. Okay, So this is how you will be able to interact with the GCP services from the local machine as well via, can you guys tell me, via SDK, right? So this is what is SDK. Okay. The third component is what, sir? The third component is SDK. Okay, the third component is SDK, and it is a local based. Okay, where it is based out of? It is based on local machine, and it is command line interface also. Here also you are going to interact via commands. The commands are same because it's also a Linux supported, but because you don't actually call it as a Linux, okay? And it does not have a terminal and editor. It is just having only terminal, so you don't select a terminal and editor, and it is working from your machine. Okay, so this is how it is. It comes up with a software development kit. So almost all the software tools will be supported here. Software, it is comes up with the software. It is a SDK. SDK means software development kit, guys. It is G Cloud software development kit means Google Cloud software development kit. So that's the reason all the libraries are supported here. Libraries support. Okay, so this is what is SDK. What is SDK, sir? From the SDK also, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, they can able to do it. Okay, so this is what is SDK. This is what is SDK. Can you guys tell me if anyone have any questions, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Arjun.
So, like we installing SDK. So, can we use our local host, like system local host, through SSH? Can we manage the GCP services
We are
without
managing
SDK?
it now already, right? We are managing it now already. We can
Uh,
able to, yeah.
in Cloud Shell we are managing, right, sir?
No,
Like
no, this is not Cloud Shell. This is SDK.
I'm talking about our command line interface, sir.
Oh, from your local, both are
Yeah.
same, right? You can go here, you can go to your power. For example, you are saying PowerShell, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying PowerShell?
No, sir. Command prompt from command prompt.
Yeah. Command prompt or PowerShell, both are same. Command
Okay.
prompt or PowerShell, both are same.
Sorry.
So once you come here, I
Mhm.
think we may have to select G Cloud or G Cloud Auth login or something. Let me select here, guys, because it is installed, or we may have to do some kind of environment setting or not. So it is here. See here, because it is
Okay.
installed. Okay. Whether you go to the command prompt also, it is supported. Okay.
Okay.
See here, in the
Yeah.
command prompt only I have opened. Now we are inside this one. Now you can say G Cloud. Sorry, G Cloud. That means BigQuery or GCS, GS util LS means Google Cloud Storage buckets. See here, all the buckets listed.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Once it is installed, it will be supported from the any of the PowerShell or the command prompt or anything. Both are same. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone, please?
About the editor here, I don't do.
For the editor. Why? Because it is local machine. It's because local machine. So what some people, what the developers will do. Think about the perspective of the developers. The developers will don't want it to go to here, and they don't want it to open the cloud shell, and they don't want it to open the editor and work with it, right? So sometimes they will be having some kind of internet connection issues, or sometimes their code they don't want it to, because if they have some slow internet, they will not be able to type some anything. So that's the reason you have the SDK, so you can able to have your Visual Studio Code. Okay, you have your Visual Studio Code. What you will be doing with the Visual Studio Code is that you click on new file. You already know, so most of the people know about Visual Studio Code, guys, I guess. Are you guys, yes or no? Can you guys tell me?
Yes, sir. We are aware of that.
Right? So Studio Code is a source code management tool. Okay, Visual Studio Code is nothing but a VS Code. People also call it as. It is a source code management tool. You can create your source code here. So you come here, you click on new file. You click on new file. If it is a Python file, so what you will say? The Python file, I wanted to print something. Okay, test code in SDK. So testing the code in SDK, Control S. Okay, you can able to write the code is test SDK. Okay, so you are saving it. So it was saved in the App Engine SDK. Is it saved in the App Engine SDK? Oh, that's wrong actually. But anyway, no problem. Okay, 1 minute, guys. I don't want it to. Okay, anyway, we have done that. So it is stored where? So 1 minute. It is stored in the App Engine SDK, test SDK. So I'm going to go to that particular folder first. We need to go to that particular folder, and we have here DevOps. Here we may having the App Engine somewhere, and here we have a test SDK. Okay, I want this particular path because we wanted to run this particular code, right? So you come here, this is your command prompt or wherever you go. Okay, so you can say Python. Okay, Python 3. If the Python 3 is library is available, you can able to run it. Or if it is not available, that's totally fine. Okay, Python 3. Okay, let me check it. Python hyphen version. So it is there. Perfect. Python. You wanted to run this code and slash. The file name is 1 minute, guys. Please, I'm getting some kind of a call.
This call is now being recorded.
Hey, sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry. So what we are doing it? So we have with the help of the Visual Studio Code, we have written some test this particular file, and after that we wanted to run this code. So where is that particular file is available? It is there in this particular path. What is the file name? Test sdk.py, right? So this is the path where this is available. The file name is this one. So when you click on enter, so you cannot open because it is having what? No such file or directory. Okay, sorry. You can also see here, we are already inside this particular directory. 1 minute, guys. So let me gonna do cd pictures. Okay, I'm gonna go to the directory. Okay, cd pictures, and here we are inside this directory I wanted to go. Okay, we are inside this one. If you wanted to run it now, you'll be able to run it. Python and test-sdk.py. Okay, test code in SDK. The printed is right. This is what we wanted to print it. Test code in SDK. So this is how the developers will be running. So whenever they actually we are just printing it, but when your code is actually interacting with your GCP services, it will be impacting your GCP services. The response will be updated in the GCP services. Now here we are just printing it. Python code is printing, but tomorrow your code is going to interact with the BigQuery service or the Google Cloud Storage service for loading the data, for interacting the data. All other things that we are going to see in our upcoming sessions. Okay, so this is just a beginning. Anyone have any questions, guys? So this is how the developers will be writing your code in the VS Code, because it's easy for them to write the code in the VS. And after that, what they do is that they're going to be doing this kind of a changes. They're going to be running the code from this particular editor. Sorry, so particular command prompt or PowerShell or Google Cloud SDK once it is installed. Okay, any questions here, guys? Any questions here, please? Okay, so here we have console, which is one, Cloud Shell and SDK. The third method is that, sir, most of the times this is me I am interacting with. Here also Cloud Shell means again I am the one interacting with. The third one is interacting with me again SDK. That means again I am the one interacting with the GCP services. There are some situations where you have created one application, you have created one kind of a web service. That web service interacting with the GCP services, that web application is interacting with the GCP services. That is your fourth way of interacting with the GCP services. That is your web application, web app, or your web service, or some other third party. Okay, so they can also interact with the GCP services via programmatically. Okay, via programmatically, they can also interact with the service. For example, you have created one Python application, sir. That Python application is storing your data in the Google Cloud Storage, because Google Cloud Storage is one of the object to storage service. Or your Java application is backend is MySQL database. That MySQL database hosted in the GCP. That is one of the service in the GCP. So your web applications or the web services or third-party tools can also interact with the GCP services. So this is what is nothing but a fourth method. So here we are not directly interacting with the services. Here the first method, console, we are directly interacting with the services. Second method, also we are directly interacting with the services. Third method, we are directly interacting with the services. In the fourth method, you are indirectly interact with your GCP services. Indirectly means, so your application, whatever the application you have generated, you have created, whenever that application is running, it is actually indirectly interacting. That is directly interacting with your service. So you are the one created the application. That application is interacting with the services. This is the fourth way of interacting with the GCP services. Okay. So these are the four methods, guys. One is console, second one is Cloud Shell, third one is SDK, fourth one is web services or web applications or third-party tools. Okay, so this is what it is. Anyone tell me if you guys have any questions? So the fourth method is web services or web applications are different web services or web applications are third party tools, all of those things. Okay, so we have a note here, guys. So I mean, a definition you can see here. The console and Cloud Shell, it is again same thing, guys. You can also see here. The Cloud Console is a web-based user interface provided by the GCP. It allows you to manage and configure GCP resources visually. Visually, you are going to, such as creating a bucket, virtual machine, configuring network resources, all of those things. Cloud Shell is a interactive browser-based shell environment available in the Cloud Console. 5 GB storage, supports all popular programming languages and tools. Okay, so note, we have a note here, guys. These are the common ways to interact with the GCP. These are the common ways to interact with the GCP, sir. And the choice of method depends on your preference, project requirements, and the type of interaction that you wanted to have with GCP resources, whether it's through a user interface or a command line interface or a APIs or integration with third-party tools or applications. Okay, it depends on this way. So the choice of which method we have to use, the companies which method they are using, it purely depends on the project requirements, guys. It purely depends on the project requirement. In the project, they say command line interface, you are going to use the command line interface. They say it is console, then you have to use the console. If they say SDK, you have to use the SDK. So the choice is depends on the project requirement. If you have a flexibility in the project requirement, then you can go for your any of the choice according to your easiness. Okay, so this is what is the choice. So there are some tools, for example, BigQuery. Most of the people will be using the console only. For command line, for Google Cloud Storage, most of the people will use the command line interface. Okay, so there are tools. Some people will be using the command line interface, some people will be using the console, okay, visual interface. So this is what is the topic of GCP interactive methods, guys. There are 4 methods and we have seen all the 4 methods. Anyone have any questions, please? Any questions, guys? I don't wanted to start this topic called console walkthrough. So this console walkthrough takes at least 30 minutes. I wanted to tell you 2 things here. In console walkthrough, we are going to, in the next session, I am going to tell you, this is the agenda of our next session, guys. In the next session, I will tell you how to create free tier account in GCP. This is our next step. Okay, how to create free tier account. This free tier account is valid for 90 days. It comes up with a $300, 300 free credits. Okay, for 90 days validity. Next thing is that how to create project. In the console walkthrough, these are the topics, guys. How to create the project, how to enable billing, how to enable billing, manage billing, monitor, and alerts. How to create the billing alerts also, because if you wanted to create the alerts to know it, how to enable the APIs. API is nothing but a application programming interfaces. And then how to, so what are the ways to interact with the services we have seen, how to interact with the services, then how to interact with the services. This is the console. So these are the topics that we are going to see. Then our next topic is, these are the basic concepts, guys. This is comes under the console walkthrough. Okay, so this comes under console walkthrough. So there you will be able to know how to create a project, how to manage the project. While creating the project, what are the parameters that we have to provide, what is the project name, what is the project number, what is the project ID, what is the difference between both of them. So one of the question was asked in the associate cloud engineer exam also, what is the difference between the project number and project name. So all these things we are going to see in our next session. This is what is the topic for next session, guys. Okay, hey, anyone have any questions till now? If you guys have any questions, please raise your hand, guys. Please raise your hand. I'm going to ask one by one. So some people are already asking, are already telling some questions in the chat. I'm going to go one by one. CLI to interaction for GCPS. What is GSUtil? So GSUtil, we will see GSUtil is one of the command line, one of the bridge between the cloud shell as well as a cloud storage. So if you wanted to work with the cloud shell, if you wanted to work with the cloud storage from the cloud shell, then you can use GSUtil commands. That we will see. Why CD? So if you wanted to get the path, then you can just PWD to get the path of that. You can be PWD, nothing but a printing working directory. Fourth one not clear, no issues. Third party tools. There are plenty of the tools are there, guys. So sometimes, for example, you have a GitHub you wanted to integrate it with the GCP source code repositories, because GitHub is also storing your code. Similarly, managing your code. Similarly, if you wanted to integrate that with the GCP services, you can do it, right? So that is when a third-party tool can be integrated with the GCP services. So that is what is that is how it is working. Jenkins is an on-prem tool. If you wanted to integrate with the GCP, also you can do it. Similarly, you have a Databricks. Databricks is also a third-party tool. If you wanted to integrate with the GCP services, you can do it. Okay, so plenty of third-party tools can be integrated with. So what's the most used? It depends on the choice, guys. I already told you it depends on the total project requirement. So we cannot just say this is one we are using or this is one. It totally depends on the project. But most of the times, for some services, it is console. For some services, it is cloud shell. And you will come to know, while I am talking about each and every service, while we are learning about each and every service, while we are doing the labs, you will come to know that this service is best suited for the console, this service is best suited for the cloud shell. You will only come to the conclusion. Okay, yeah. Okay, anyone have any other questions? I think your questions are answered, guys. Debobrat. I think I did not see the chart, but yeah, now I have answered it. And I think any other questions, anyone, please? Why? Oh, okay. No, 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 no. Don't look at this. Why CD pictures is that I wanted to go to this particular directory, right? So I'm already in this particular folder, users. So you see here users and site. So I wanted to go to this pictures and this folder, this folder, this folder. That's where my test.py is there in that folder. So that's the reason. Once I come to this particular folder, here we have the test SDK. Then we are running it. Okay, we have to be there in that particular folder. So that's the reason we are doing it. So what is you mean by that particular dot? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. Any other questions, please? Okay. So for the next class, we have completed our demo sessions, guys. For those people who wanted to regularly continue to the sessions, what they have to do is that they have to complete the registration. Okay, register for the course. That is the thing. So the demo sessions are completed. So all the regular sessions will be coming from Monday onwards. Register for the course. So course timings is same thing. 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. IST, Indian Standard Times. Okay. So register for the course. So the link will be changed from Monday. If you wanted to regularly connect if you wanted to regularly attend the classes, then please register for the course. The demo sessions are completed. The timings are same, 7:30 to 8:30 every day. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys, thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye. We will meet on Monday. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you.